Breen Brown, I thought it was just me, but it isn't making the journey from "what will people think" to "I am enough." In the book, I thought it was just me, but it isn't making the journey from "what will people think" to "I am enough." Breen Brown explores the powerful emotion of shame and its effects on our lives. Delving into the many ways in which shame manifests itself, Brown discusses tools and strategies to overcome shame and foster healthier relationships. Through recognizing shame, cultivating empathy, and understanding the role of critical awareness, you will be equipped to not only address shame in your own life, but also support others in dealing with this pervasive emotion. Brown's direct and insightful approach will both educate and inspire readers of all backgrounds.
The power of shame. Shame is a deeply painful sensation caused by a lack of empathy and rejection. It stems from the belief that we're not good enough, and that this shortcoming will prevent us from being accepted by and belonging to a group. Many people avoid discussing the emotion of shame because it's uncomfortable. Shame is a visceral emotion that's challenging to articulate. However, shame has to do with a feeling of not being good enough and the exposure of aspects of ourselves that we tend to hide. According to the author's interviews with over 300 people about how they experience shame, she discovered that shame is a negative feeling connected to a sense of rejection. The author also discovered that shame is caused by a lack of empathy. Based on this information, the author defines shame as a deeply painful sensation. Shame arises when people seek compassion but instead experience rejection. For example, in the author's study, one participant's mother persistently shamed her because of her weight. Another participant's mother committed suicide, and instead of support and compassion, she was ostracized by her fellow students. In summary, shame is a powerful emotion that stems from rejection, a lack of empathy, and the exposure of aspects of ourselves that we tend to hide. Overcoming shame with empathy. Shame is a universal emotion that can be managed with empathy. In this book, the author asserts that empathy is the antidote for shame. She explains that it is important not only to receive empathy but also to empathize with others. The author highlights that empathy is achieved by being present and aware of the other person's story, and to see things from their perspective without judging. Sharing a difficult experience with another person and knowing that it is not unusual or uncommon helps alleviate shame. The author shares a personal experience of how her friend helped her overcome shame with her empathetic response. Understanding how to relieve shame is critical, and the first step is to learn how to identify when you are experiencing it. Overcoming shame through self-awareness. Recognizing and understanding shame triggers can help individuals overcome it and emerge stronger. Ignoring physical or mental illnesses only aggravates the situation, and the same applies to shame. To deal with shame, one must first recognize it. Research shows that people who can accurately identify and describe their shame are better at handling it. Shame can manifest in different ways like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, trembling, or even getting out of bed. Identifying one's shame triggers enables one to overcome it. However, shame triggers are highly personal and dependent on negative personal experiences from one's early life. For instance, Sylvia made an error at work and ended up on the company's loser list, which triggered deep feelings of shame. Her father had always told her and her sister that nobody likes losers, and that there's nothing worse than being one. Knowing one's shame triggers allows a step back when the emotion levels flare up. This reflective stance helps in processing the feeling and emerging positively. In conclusion, recognizing and understanding one's shame triggers is the key to overcoming shame and emerging stronger. The power of critical awareness. The ability to be critically aware is vital in handling shame. When we take a step back and observe the social causes of shame triggered by society's expectations and industry manipulation, we can address it more effectively. The author uses her personal experience to highlight the importance of critical awareness in understanding why and how things happen. By being more aware, we can zoom out and grasp the bigger picture, which in turn helps us to normalize shame and take away its power. The power of connection. Retreating into ourselves when we feel ashamed or hurt might seem like a good idea, but it is precisely the opposite of what we need. Connecting with others is crucial to healing from shame. Our self-esteem is not boosted by material things, but by forming and maintaining relationships. This is the most reliable way to ground ourselves and find value. Jean Baker Miller and Irene Stiver, in their 1997 study, found that friendship and support networks are essential when it comes to shame. Having people we can share our life experiences with removes isolation, making it easier to manage shame, and changes the way we see people. By reaching out to others, we can even help them heal. Transforming shameful experiences into positive ones is so powerful that we can all do it. Sharing our stories helps us understand that we all have weird families, and that imperfections are part of life. By embracing connection, we can overcome shame and find true self-esteem. The hidden dangers of perfection. The media's portrayal of perfection is a shame-producing lie that misleads us into believing we must emulate unrealistic ideals. In reality, these depictions are often a combination of editing, polishing, and professional assistance. This misguided notion results in caregivers striving for impractical outcomes, which leads to higher levels of shame and guilt. The author believes accepting our limitations and vulnerability can alleviate these feelings and provide a much healthier perspective. The relationship between shame and anger. Psychological research has established that the experience of shame often leads individuals to deflect their negative feelings by projecting them onto others through a self-righteous outburst of anger. In the long run, this harmful coping mechanism results in strained relationships and further isolation. While anger can be a healthy emotion, it becomes counterproductive when it conceals or exacerbates other negative emotions, such as shame. Instead, individuals should focus on identifying, describing, and sharing their shame with others, thereby forging meaningful connections and promoting healing. This book urges readers to recognize the relationship between shame and anger and choose vulnerability and empathy to overcome damaging patterns of coping.
In conclusion, Brené Brown's book provides valuable insights into the emotion of shame, its triggers, and how to heal from its negative effects. By recognizing shame, cultivating empathy, and developing critical awareness, individuals can build stronger connections with others and foster self-esteem. Through vulnerability and authentic connection, it is possible to break free from the grip of shame and live a more fulfilling and compassionate life. By embracing Brown's strategies, readers can transform their relationships and personal well-being, empowering them to journey from self-doubt and insecurity to a sense of worthiness and self-acceptance.